All right, we're live, and we're live.
My favorite is when you hit the record button and you're like, let me just hit record. Welcome to Bourbon Bet.
Welcome to Bourbon Bets. I'm Brimstone Deacon.
Blue Dolly.
This is a very special episode.
Depressing. I mean, actually,
We
wait,
have a we finally have a bet on the table.
we do. We do.
Here's
This
what's
is a good
weird.
thing.
We generally argue about everything all the time, but for some reason over the past whatever amount of time, we have not had an actual bet. So,
True story.
I believe we were arguing about this not too long ago, and so it did come up, and then it went away, and it's come back up again. So
That's correct.
the bet is, and we can massage the language before we actually launch into it, but the
As always.
we can nuance it to death as we do. The 5 worst Christmas movies.
Correct.
That's it.
Well, it's so the bet is it's kind of like the Chris Nolan thing in reverse.
It is.
So the bet is who has the most accurate list of the worst 5 Festivus movies.
Whew. All right. Who has the best worst list?
Yeah, it's very awkward to say.
Hmm.
Who has the best list of terrible Festivus movies?
Yes, correct. All right, and we're gonna go from 5 down to 1. We're gonna go 1 for 1, right?
Yeah, we'll go from 1 to 1. This is well, okay. So there was one thing I wanted to preface this with. I so
Forgive us for we know not what we do.
my list. All right, so there's 2 things. First of all, I didn't pick a list of just what are some awful movies. Like I'm sure all over you want to get the actual worst Christmas movies. Like I don't know, Big Gun Santa or whatever it might be. You go on the internet and find that. We're not interested in that. I chose movies that I know at least some people like that I think are terrible movies.
I did pretty much the same thing. I also limited it to I have to have seen it.
Yes, same with me.
So I've seen these.
Yep.
They're not those obscure ones that like nobody watched, nobody went to the theater, nobody ever saw them, and they went straight to DVD. Right? These are.
Yep.
I think everyone knows all of these on my list.
Yeah, I also didn't go like Hallmark or anything like that.
Those aren't.
I haven't seen them.
No, these are mainstream movies that a lot of people are going to hate us for.
That's what I was gonna. That was my next caveat. Was please don't hate me forever
maybe
over
we
this.
should do a bonus. Who will they hate more, you or me?
That might actually be what the tweet really, or what the contest really is.
Who do you hate more?
Yeah,
Whose list do you hate more?
After reading these 2 lists, who do you hate more?
I love it. All right. Now, I did throw in an honorable mention at the end.
I did too, only because you warned me that you had.
It's a little quirky, but you'll like it. So you'll like that it's on the list.
All right.
All right. Here we go. Number 5.
Number 5.
Mine is Christmas with the Cranks.
I wanted to put this on the list, but I haven't actually seen it. So
okay.
I wanted to put it on there just to bother certain people who share a state with me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad you could include it.
I went back and I made a list of like 10 or more movies, and then I eliminated down, and this one stayed on the list, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
What's bad about this, why it's a terrible movie, is because the Cranks, who's the family, are like seemingly decent people who just don't want to. This is like a just high level plot, and you're not losing anything by hearing this. They decide one Christmas, their daughter goes to college, and they're like, we just don't want to do Christmas. We don't want to stay in the cold. They live in like Chicago or New York or something. They're like, let's go to the Caribbean for just the 2 of them for Christmas. And they're like, yeah, all right, fine. It's a little hard because it's tradition. We always do it, but we'll go. But the neighbors are like Hot Fuzz Village in England trying to win the prize, where they have to decorate their house. They have to get the Christmas tree. And that's the whole movie, is guilting these people into not going on their trip,
participate in the
and
contest,
participating in the streets, lighting festival or whatever. And the worst part isn't that. The worst part is at the end they give in to these people and realize how selfish they were for wanting to go on their vacation to the Caribbean. Awful all around.
Okay, true story and horrible story, but now that you describe it to me, I've actually seen the first 5 minutes of this movie. Literally, my wife, Rowan Tree, turned to me and said, "Why are we watching this? This is so horrible."
I remember actually saying, I think I would punch that guy out if anybody came up to me and said, "What do you mean I have to? What do you mean I have to get the Santa out? Right. You get a Santa. You go get a Santa." Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the point of the whole movie is conform or die. That's
the thing that really kills me is it's like, just say to the people, "Look, we're going to be gone. Go buy a generator, put up lights on my house, take them down before I get home."
That's right.
Simple.
Yeah. That movie would have only been 5 minutes.
Yeah, it might have been better.
Yeah. There's a little undertone though of the Hot Fuzz. No, you have to be one of us. It's not enough that we have your house. We need your soul. So anyway, that's not my number 5.
All right. Okay. Mine might be pretty offensive to just one person, I have a feeling. And so my number 5 is Ernest Saves Christmas.
Oh, I thought about putting this one on. It's been so long since I've seen it, though. I couldn't honestly remember all the details. I mean, it's an Ernest movie, so it is what it is.
It was forced on me 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it in years before that.
Do you like the other Ernest movies?
So, like a couple of at least one of them, the summer camp one.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're all just okay.
It's mildly entertaining, but Ernest Saves Christmas is, I think I fell asleep like 5 times. The kids kept waking me up. "Oh, it's so funny!" Ah! And I was just like, no, it makes
so
sense.
It's like 8-year-old humor.
Yeah, it's really pretty terrible.
And there's no point to it.
Yeah. So I think there's a guy on Twitter that probably loves this stuff because it seems like it would be his bread and butter.
Well, we'll find out. All right. You go, number 4.
All right. Number 4. This is very personal for me. So actually, number 4 and number 3 are both pretty personal for me, but this is the really deeply personal one. My Uncle Mike had this movie and the next one on my list on essentially a loop at my grandmother's house when I was a teenager. And literally every time you walked into the house, it was a couple of idiots and giant toys on the screen. And it's Babes in Toyland.
I hate that movie.
It is so incredibly boring and horrible.
Like he would have it like year round or just at Christmas time?
No, like from Thanksgiving to New Year's. You know how, I forget who it was, one of the Turner channels, TNT or something, would run Star Wars 24/7 for like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Literally, that's what it was like, except it was Babes in Toyland and my next one.
Just looking at what year is that? 86. Yeah, or the original. Which one?
The original, the black and
white. The original, 61.
Yeah, 60.
Yeah, I remember hating that. I remember being subjected to it as a kid. Because it was a family-friendly movie, so you have to watch it at Christmas time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and it was like literally you had to you get my grandmother to yell at him to turn it off just so that we could have the meal. Like I don't understand the obsession. The level was like beyond the pale.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. My number 4 is Polar Express. It's the worst. I hate it so much.
Why would you hate that movie?
It is, first of all, it's so slow. It's so long. It's so boring. It's so creepy. My 4-year-old won't even watch it. He's like, no, it's too scary. There's that one obnoxious kid with the obnoxious voice. Everyone who's seen it knows what I'm talking about. It's just like a drill in your ear. The creepy hobo on the roof is like nightmare fuel. No wonder my 4-year-old doesn't want to watch. There's the thing with the puppet in the toy car that's totally creepy. Like, this is supposed to be a Christmas movie, right? And you're like, and then it has all of these continuity problems. Like, the one time I actually had to sit and watch the whole thing, I don't think I went more than 5 minutes without going, but wait a minute, didn't that just happen? And how is that happening now if that happened? Like,
yep.
I don't know how they wrote this, but it's probably best watched on some kind of psychedelic drug or something. That's the only thing I can figure.
Oh, you turn off the volume, put on Pink Floyd.
Put on Pink Floyd or something. Yeah, I might try that next year.
Just think about how paranoid and creeped out you'd be after watching that.
Yeah. And the point of the movie is just believe. Although we're never told what to believe in. Yourself, Santa, things, we don't know. So just believe. So it's a good message for kids in the end.
Just do it.
Just do it. Number 3.
All right, you go yours first now.
This is it's going to get heavy now.
Uh-oh.
It's a Wonderful Life.
So, guess what my number 3 is?
Is it?
It's a Wonderful Life.
So many things wrong with this movie, but we would have to do a whole show. The two of the big things.
We have 2 things. Unbelievable.
Well, all right. The main thing. No, there's 2 things. The one thing that really is like a giant plot hole for me. I mean, forget all the angel and the wings and all that stuff, right? Whatever. You got to suspend disbelief for some of these movies, obviously. But the bank examiner in this movie really wants to know where this money went, right? He's very concerned that the money should be in the bank. However, the whole premise of the movie is that there will be a run on the bank, which can't happen if all the money is in the bank already. So it's like basic logic of this is, if you actually run a bank and you keep the money in the bank, then bank run, why would people want to have a bank run? Because they know their money's in the bank. So it's like circular logic. And the whole point of the movie, be a good person, try to do good things, or you are a good person if you do good things. Oh, and capitalists are evil. I forgot to mention that. So.
Yeah, so I had 2 things too. I had banking and Clarence.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been... they could have taken all the Christmas stuff out of it, right? It could have been any time of the year. It has nothing to do with even with Christmas, as far as even Christmas movies go.
It could be the guy's birthday. And nothing would have to change other than getting rid of a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And bells.
Yep. Yeah, they just decided to make it a Christmas movie.
So. Make it an angel gets his wings every time the car door shuts.
I would have been a more entertaining movie. All right, that's amazing. We both had a 3.
That's not surprising to me, actually.
All right.
I already knew that you didn't like that one. I didn't know if you didn't like it enough for it to get on the list, though. So
I dislike it immensely.
All right. This one, and I'm not sure, either this one's going to be immensely offensive to everyone, or not that many. Then everybody's going to agree with me. One of the 2. I'm not sure which it is.
There's no middle ground.
Yeah, well, I think there can't be on this one.
No half measures.
So number 2 for me is The Grinch, Who Stole Christmas. but it's not the
The
Grinch Before
original?
Christmas. It's the Jim Carrey version.
Yeah. I almost put that. It almost made the cut.
Literally, these are the first words I have in description. Frankly, an abomination.
You're not wrong.
How do you take the great Boris Karloff and then you make this thing? You basically say, "Oh, what you did was garbage, and I'm flushing you down the toilet."
Yeah, I hate this one.
It's so.
I've only ever seen. I don't even think I watched the whole thing. It's terrible. It really reminds me of the same thing that they did with Willy Wonka.
Oh yes,
It's
yes.
just so awful that you don't even. It's just
Oh, but they take a beloved thing
yes.
and then they just postmodernize it.
They postmodern. Yes, exactly. All right, my number two is A Christmas Carol,
Oh, whew.
but
I thought you were going to say a different word at
I know, I know
the end.
that.
Just one more.
Listen, that almost made the cut. No, a very specific version,
Though.
the
Okay.
Jim Carrey animated version.
Oh well, of course, yes. I've seen about 10 minutes of that too.
Uh-huh. So, I dislike Dickens immensely.
Hmm.
I dislike A Christmas Carol in general, the story. But if you're gonna look, put aside again some of the things that are, generally wrong with the story,
Right.
at least go watch a version that has like real actors,
No, 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 no.
right?
See, you're wrong on this. If you're going to watch a version of A Christmas Carol,
You should watch the
watch
worst
the
one.
Muppets.
Okay, yes,
Okay. All right. I
Muppets.
was going to say, you can't do that.
Muppets and then real actors, and then just don't ever watch this one because the animation is horrible. It's just, I mean, it's Jim Carrey doing the same thing, right?
Isn't there a George C. Scott version?
There's many versions. There's a George C. Scott. There's a Patrick Stewart. There's
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, yep.
yeah,
Yeah, there's so many other options on that one. Like, personally, I probably wouldn't like any of them except the Muppets. And it's
Yeah.
really just because it's the Muppets that I'll watch it.
that's right. Yeah, but of all of them, this one is just particularly egregious.
Yeah, I get that. Almost made my list.
I like that you thought I was going to say a different movie though. And we can talk about that when we're done. Why it didn't make the cut? I can tell you why it didn't make the cut.
All right, good, good. I know why it shouldn't have already, but we'll talk about it.
All right, is it me?
I think it's you. Yeah.
Number one, The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh,
I can't tell what that sigh is. Is that your favorite Christmas movie?
no, it's the Christmas movie that I can never make up my mind if I like it or not.
Oh, I made up my mind. It's very, it's so Polar Express. I said there's some creepy stuff. It's like in the next league up from, creepy wise.
Right, but I mean, so it's hard to ding it for that because it's Tim Burton
I can ding it for being that.
for being what he is in every film he's ever made.
Yeah, I mean, I see no problem here.
I mean, no idea what I was walking into.
At one point, the kid's holding. You remember this? The kid's holding the box, and the parents, "Oh, what did Santa bring you?" And he pulls out a severed head. I think I just have a hard time saying that's a Christmas movie. If you just call it The Nightmare, whatever.
Like, all right. So if your criticism is that it's not a Christmas movie,
I think it's way too dark.
yeah, I can get behind that 100%.
Yeah, it may be a good. I'm not a big claymation fan in the first place.
Yeah.
But it might be good for the genre, and but the fact that it's trying to be a Christmas movie, just it's like some of the other ones where they're just so over the top and vulgar. And this isn't vulgar, but
Right.
like a Bad Santa or things that are
yeah.
things like that are just like crass, and like they just tag the Christmas word on it just so they can ship a movie in December, right?
Well, and the rest of the appeal is just shock.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
for people who hate the idea of the season, hate everything about it. Let's give those guys a laugh.
Yeah, and I don't think that's Burton necessarily. I don't think that's what.
No, I agree.
But I just don't think they belong together. So.
Yep. No, that criticism makes perfect sense to me. Yep.
Go ahead.
So my number one.
Do it.
It's hilarious because it's the Polar Express.
Your most hated Christmas movie.
Okay, so
I love it.
I wrote down some of the stuff that you wrote that you had for your criticism of it, but here's the stuff that I had that you did not mention. Not only is it on this list, but it also heads the lists of worst Tom Hanks movies ever. And Tom Hanks has made some bad movies.
Made some bad movies, but you might be right.
So yeah, that's bad. The stilted weird animation, you mentioned that. The train whistle doesn't even sound correct. Like, how do you screw up a train whistle in a movie?
I could probably download a train whistle sound right now, and it would sound like a train whistle.
Right, like I can't figure out how
Maybe
is that possible?
Chris Nolan did the sound.
What?
That was a Tenet reference. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Well, I got you. Yes. Dumb premise, dumb, lazy writing, and then I wrote as a summary, nothing good at all.
I think your summary is better than mine, but yeah.
I mean, I really can't think of anything in that was worth watching it.
I know. I'm like, I was thinking, I'm like, what was even the point of them? Like, you can think of the point of some of these other ones, like off top, like the story of It's a Wonderful Life, what happened.
Yep.
Like, you can't really pinpoint any. There's no story arc. They take a train ride to the North Pole and they come back again.
Believe.
And they meet some creepy people along the way.
Believe. Okay.
Believe. Just believe.
Just do it.
It's maybe it was a hostage movie. It's like, you better believe or you're not coming back.
Not only do you have to believe, give us your money.
That's right. All right, well,
or maybe the other way around. Not only did you just waste your money on this movie ticket, now you have to believe.
That's right. Yes.
Something.
Oh, yes, we do have one more. So that's the top 5. Those will be the ones that'll be listed, but I did have one more, an honorable mention.
Okay.
It's a fun one. Santa Claus, 1960. It was made in 1960.
I don't know this one. I don't think.
It could also be called Santa Claus versus Satan. It was filmed. It's filmed in Spanish and was then overdubbed with English. And it does involve one of Satan's minions, Pitch. It also has Merlin, the magician, Hercules, and Santa lives in a palace in the sky, I think. There's also
God.
There's also slave children.
Right.
I'm probably missing a lot of other stuff. You can watch the original for free on Tubi, I think. Or the better way to watch it is to watch the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version.
Oh, that would be good.
Which is great.
So I have not seen
that's
that.
That's a fun, terrible, terrible Christmas movie.
Yeah, that's awful.
It is. You're welcome.
Okay, so I have an honorable mention too. And my honorable mention is not, although I really was tempted by it, it is not Die Hard, though I kind of wanted to do that. The real honorable mention is Miracle on 34th Street. And that gets an honorable mention because I can't put it on the real list because I've never actually seen it. Now, don't get me wrong. I've watched it probably 87 times.
Yes.
But either you find something else to do while it's on.
Like, you need those beans cut for dinner? Or
yeah, you're 14 and you're like, Oh, I wish they had invented the internet already.
Well, you're always at your grandparents' house, so there's not even like any books that you want to read. Something, you're like, is that a stack of National Geographics? Yeah, let me get one of those.
Grandma's like, "Hey, you want to play checkers?" And you're like, "I haven't played
Yes, I
checkers in
do.
like 6 years." Sure, Grandma,
I do.
I do. I really, really do. Yeah,
Yes,
it's just
same for me. I couldn't tell you the entire story. I know I've seen the end. I've seen the courtroom scene.
I vaguely remember, like when you describe it, I'm like, I feel like I've seen that, but
Yep,
I
yep.
couldn't tell you anything about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people really like those old movies. We're probably ticking a lot of people off. Uh, I just can't get into most of them.
Yeah, I mean, I like some of the I don't want to call them offbeat, but like some of the musicals and stuff. I actually don't mind them. I'll sit and watch them
I
anytime.
know we can really tick some people off if you want right now.
I don't want to because you might not enjoy your Christmas if you say too much right
I
now.
was actually told that. There's one
No,
movie
I'm
you may
actually.
not put on the list.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
There's one movie you may not put on the list. Yes,
Yeah. So I'm actually on her side with
I
uh,
know. I
with
know.
a couple of those. So
Uh, the movie we're talking about for everyone else is White Christmas.
yep.
Mrs. Brimstone Deacon loves it. I can't get into it at all. Also, it probably doesn't help that she likes to watch it every year. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen it a dozen times. But I did notice when she was watching it this year. I'm like, one of the things that's so terrible that I hate about it is the lighting. It's lit like you're watching a stage play. I'm like,
Yes, it is. Yeah.
these
It
giant spotlights and these massive shadows. I'm like, it just kind of throws you off of like it's you're not watching a story, you're watching a play on TV.
Yeah, and honestly, it's one of those movies, and she probably she'll hate me when she hears me say this.
Oh, she
Um,
doesn't listen to the show.
oh, good. So it's one of those ones where I wish that they could actually do a remake of it because they could do it exactly the same, just bring everything up to date in terms of the
They would
cinematography.
they would kill it if they tried that.
Well, see, and that's what I was going to say. The problem is that they couldn't couldn't give that vibe of sincerity
No,
and of having values and all that kind of stuff that
no,
you
it would be fully updated.
that's the problem
Yeah.
exactly. Now if they took exactly what it was and just did a better production value version, it could benefit a lot from that.
So we just need to revive Danny Kaye.
Now, I'm not. I'm saying keep the script the same. Find people with comparable talent, that sort of thing.
Well,
All right. Oh, we were going to talk about the other thing. You still want to talk about the other movie that I thought you might have on your list?
I think we should. Yeah.
Okay.
So before we go, you thought I was going to say
A Christmas Story.
Christmas Story,
Yep.
and I did have it in the initial list. I can't stand that movie, but as I thought about whether it belonged on the list, it's not. I don't think so much that it's like I don't love it, but it's probably not a terrible movie.
Mhm.
It's boring as anything to me. It's
Oh,
slow and boring,
so
and
sad.
I just can't get into it. So, for those reasons,
And I love that movie.
I know. I
It's
know.
so.
It's not as bad, and it's been so long since I watched it because I always hated it. Uh, but it's definitely not as bad as any of these movies that I did list. So
So, all right. If you do watch it again sometime, do me a favor.
I won't.
The only thing you do when you're watching this movie, the next time you watch it, if you ever watch it again, focus all your attention on Darren McGavin, the father. He is the real character in the entire movie.
Oh, you've probably just spawned all kinds of other.
Oh, all kinds of people are going to hate me for saying that because I'm sure they all love the little boy and all of that. And the dad's the worst because he's, the typical '50s dad, and he's always
Uh-huh.
looking over his newspaper strangely at people and cussing out the heater in the basement. But I'm telling you, his acting in that is.
Do you think I could watch it on like 1.8x?
Stop it. Stop it.
That's probably the only way I'm willing to, and I can't because I'm not a millennial. So, all right, there's
a card, right?
Huh?
You have to pass like a blood test and something else, and then present your birth certificate.
That's right.
You get a card with biometric data on it, and then you like plug it into your TV, and they allow you to watch things that other people don't watch, that sort of thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
So there's our list. So, but the actual poll is going to read, after reviewing our lists, who do you hate more? Who do you dislike more? Let's not go hate.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Who?
We don't want to engender bad feelings.
Who's? Let's see. Whose opinion score dropped the most?
Whose social score?
Social credit score.
Yes. Whose social credit score would you downgrade
the most?
The most after reviewing the following lists. Yeah, something along those lines.
All right. Well, that's all for this show. We still are planning a joint show with another podcast.
Yep.
To be recorded in 2020. And as we said before, hopefully released in 2020. So.
Well, and maybe, and I shouldn't say this because this will be released.
Careful, don't give it away.
I feel like we have to do it, but maybe once we've seen Fat Man, maybe we could have another conversation.
I like it.
Maybe we'll get back to our roots and do like a 10-minute episode.
Doubtful. I think that ship has sailed. All right. I'm done.
Happy Festivus to all.
Happy Festivus. Later.